3, 2, 1.
Imagine standing on a high, windswept plain. You are more than 2 miles above sea level. The air is thin and the sun is intense. This is the Altiplano of Bolivia, a place of stark and powerful beauty. All around you, scattered across the dry earth, are enormous, intricately carved stone blocks. They look like they were tossed here by giants. This isn't a modern construction site. This is Puma Punku, an ancient ruin that defies easy explanation. When you walk among these stones, you can't help but feel a sense of awe and deep mystery. It feels like stepping into the middle of a puzzle that's thousands of years old. The name Puma Punku means the gateway of the Puma in the local Aymara language. The site is part of a much larger ancient city called Tiwanaku, a civilization that rose and fell long before the famous Inca Empire. But Puma Punku is different. It's not just a collection of old walls and buildings. It's a field of perfectly engineered megalithic blocks. Some are shattered while others remain intact, hinting at a structure of incredible complexity. The silence here is profound, broken only by the wind whistling past the stones. It's a silence that invites questions. Who built this place? How did they do it? And most importantly, why? Standing here today, on August 18, 2025, the feeling is timeless. You get a sense that you are on the edge of a great discovery. The scale of the site is staggering. The precision of the stonework is mind-boggling. It's one thing to read about Puma Punku in a book or see pictures online. It's another thing entirely to be here in person, to run your hand over the smooth, cool surface of a stone that was shaped by hands over 1,000 years ago. You feel a connection to the past, but it's a past that seems almost alien in its sophistication. This isn't just history. It's an adventure waiting to be fully understood. The mystery of Puma Punku grabs you and doesn't let go. It's a place that challenges our ideas about what ancient people were capable of. As an explorer, these are the places I live for. They are the sites that push the boundaries of our knowledge and force us to ask bigger questions. Puma Punku isn't just a destination on a map. It's a gateway to a lost world of incredible ingenuity. The stones hold a story, and archaeologists, scientists, and adventurers like me are all trying to learn its language. The journey to uncover the truth behind this incredible site has only just begun. Let's talk about the stones themselves, because they are the heart of the mystery. We're not talking about simple bricks or rough-hewn boulders. The blocks at Puma Punku are made from diorite and red sandstone. Diorite is one of the hardest types of rock on the planet. It's so tough that even our modern steel tools have a hard time cutting it. Yet, here they are, shaped with an accuracy that is astonishing. The largest of these stones is estimated to weigh over 130 tons. That's heavier than a blue whale. Imagine trying to move something that massive without modern cranes or trucks. It seems completely impossible. The shapes of these stones are what really blow your mind. You'll find massive platforms, gateways, and the famous H-blocks. These H-blocks are all uniform in size and shape, almost as if they were mass-produced in a factory. They have perfectly straight edges, 90-degree angles, and smooth polished surfaces. It looks like they were cut with some kind of advanced power tool. But the Tiwanaku people, who are credited with building this site, supposedly only had simple hand tools made of stone and bronze. How could they achieve this level of precision? It's a question that has stumped experts for decades. Even more amazing are the intricate cuts and drill holes found on many of the blocks. Some stones have long, thin grooves that are perfectly straight. Others have small holes drilled deep into the hard diorite. These holes are so precise that they look like they were made with a laser or a high-speed drill bit. When you examine them up close, you see no evidence of chisel marks. The surfaces are incredibly smooth. It's as if the stone was softened, molded into shape, and then hardened again. This level of craftsmanship is something we would expect from a modern engineering firm, not an ancient civilization in the Andes. The complexity doesn't stop there. The H-blocks and other stones have interlocking joints, like pieces of a giant three-dimensional puzzle. They were designed to fit together perfectly, creating a stable and earthquake-resistant structure. This suggests a deep understanding of geometry, engineering, and architectural planning. The builders of Puma Punku weren't just piling up rocks, they were creating a sophisticated, prefabricated building. The problem is, the building is now in ruins, scattered across the landscape. It's like finding the pieces of the world's most advanced Lego set, but with no instruction manual to put it all back together. So, who were the master builders behind this incredible feat of engineering? The official story credits the Tiwanaku people. Their civilization thrived in this region between 300 and 1000 AD. They were a powerful and influential culture, known for their agriculture, pottery, and textiles. The Tiwanaku capital, located near Puma Punku, was one of the most important cities in the ancient Americas. They were clearly an advanced society. They built massive pyramids, sunken temples, and impressive monoliths. They were skilled organizers and had a deep understanding of astronomy. They were without a doubt a remarkable people. But this is where the mystery deepens. The Tiwanaku did not have a written language, so they left no records explaining how they built Puma Punku. They also didn't have the wheel for transportation, nor did they have beasts of burden strong enough to pull 130-ton stone blocks. The nearest sandstone quarry is over 10 miles away, and the diorite quarry is more than 50 miles away across the massive Lake Titicaca. How did they transport these gigantic stones across such difficult terrain? Archaeologists suggest they may have used logs, ropes, and immense amounts of human labor. But many experts remain skeptical that this alone could account for the feat. The tool question is another major puzzle. The Tiwanaku had simple tools made from harder stones and a primitive form of bronze, an alloy of copper and arsenic. While these could shape softer rocks, they would be almost useless against the incredibly hard diorite. Trying to cut diorite with a stone hammer or a soft bronze chisel would be like trying to cut a diamond with a plastic knife. It just doesn't add up. The precision cuts, razor-sharp corners, and polished surfaces we see at Puma Punku seem to require a technology far beyond what the Tiwanaku people are believed to have possessed. This leads to a fascinating question. Were the Tiwanaku people the original architects of Puma Punku? Or did they discover a much older site and build their city around it? Perhaps they were trying to copy or rebuild something they found, left behind by an even more ancient and advanced culture. Maybe they were the students, not the masters. Without written records, we are left to piece together the story from the stones themselves. And the stones tell a tale of technological prowess that seems to contradict the official historical timeline. It's a classic archaeological whodunit. When scientific explanations fall short, we often turn to local legends and myths. And let me tell you, the stories surrounding Puma Punku are just as epic as the site itself. For centuries, the Aymara people of the Andes have passed down tales that speak of a time before the sun was in the sky. These legends say that the city of Tiwanaku was built in a single night by a race of giants. Other stories claim it was built by the gods themselves. The primary creator god in Andean mythology is Viracocha, who was said to have risen from the waters of Lake Titicaca to create the world. According to one powerful legend, Tiwanaku was built to be the home of the gods, after a great flood wiped out a previous world. The god Viracocha shaped the first humans from stone. Perhaps the intricate stonework at Puma Punku was not the work of ordinary men, but the divine craftsmanship of the gods themselves. These myths describe Viracocha and his helpers as having powers we can only dream of. They could move massive stones with the power of sound or with tools that emitted light. While these might sound like fantasy, it's fascinating how these ancient stories seem to describe advanced technology. Another persistent theme in local folklore is the idea of visitors from the sky. Legends speak of skyships that descended from the heavens and of beings who taught the local people astronomy, agriculture, and engineering. The famous sun gate at the nearby Tiwanaku site depicts a central figure, often identified as Viracocha, with rays coming from his head and strange figures flanking him. Some have interpreted these figures as wearing helmets or carrying unusual devices. Could these be depictions of extraterrestrial visitors who shared their knowledge with the people of the Andes? It's a tantalizing theory that many find compelling. These legends are not just campfire stories. They are the cultural memory of a people, a way of explaining the unexplainable. For them, the idea of gods or sky beings building Puma Punku makes more sense than the idea of their ancestors doing it with simple tools. When you stand among the ruins and consider the sheer impossibility of what you're seeing, you start to understand why these myths have endured for so long. They provide an answer, however fantastic, to a puzzle that modern science still struggles to solve. The legends ask us to open our minds to possibilities beyond our own experience. So, if it wasn't aliens or gods with laser beams, how was Puma Punku built? Scientists and archaeologists have been working hard to find practical, down-to-earth explanations. One theory suggests the Tiwanaku were masters of stone-on-stone fabrication. They may have used harder river cobbles like quartzite to slowly grind and pound the sandstone and diorite into shape. This would have required incredible patience, skill, and generations of labor. They would have used sand and water as an abrasive, slowly polishing the surfaces to the smooth finish we see today. It's a plausible theory, but it still struggles to explain the perfect angles and complex internal cuts. Another scientific idea involves a kind of concrete technology. Some researchers have proposed that the blocks at Puma Punku are not carved from solid stone at all. Instead, they might be an advanced form of geopolymer concrete. The theory goes that the Tiwanaku people had a lost recipe for liquefying rock and then casting it in molds, much like we pour concrete today. This would explain the uniformity of the age blocks and the absence of tool marks. While traces of organic binders have been found in some samples, this theory is highly controversial and not widely accepted by mainstream archaeology. Still, it's an innovative way of thinking about the problem. Then there's the transportation issue. How do you move a 130-ton block across miles of uneven terrain? The mainstream theory involves immense manpower. Thousands of workers would have been needed to pull these blocks on wooden sleds over rollers made of logs. They would have built massive ramps and causeways to navigate the landscape. This method is known to have been used by other ancient cultures, like the Egyptians. However, the Andean terrain is far more challenging than the flat sands of Egypt. And again, the sheer scale of the stones at Puma Punku pushes this theory to its absolute limit. Alternative theories often step outside the box. Some suggest the builders used sonic technology, using specific frequencies to levitate the stones or make them easier to cut. This idea connects back to the local legends of gods who moved stones with sound. Others point to lost ancient technologies, suggesting that humanity was once far more advanced than we realize. But this knowledge was lost in some global cataclysm. While these ideas are highly speculative, they are born from the sheer difficulty of explaining Puma Punku with conventional models. The site forces us to question what we think we know about the past. After all the research, speculation, and exploration, Puma Punku leaves us with more questions than answers. It's a place that humbles you. Every theory, whether mainstream or alternative, has its holes. If the Tiwanaku built it with simple tools, why don't we see this level of precision anywhere else from that period? And how did they achieve cuts that seem to defy the capabilities of those tools? The skill gap between Puma Punku and other Tiwanaku structures is immense. It's like finding a brand new smartphone next to a stone tablet. They just don't seem to belong in the same time period. The purpose of the site is another huge mystery. What was this complex structure for? Was it a temple, a palace, an observatory, or something else entirely? The name, Gateway of the Puma, suggests it was a ceremonial entrance of some kind. But the interlocking blocks and complex design hint at a more functional purpose. Some have speculated it was a processing plant, a machine, or even a landing platform. Because the site is now in ruins, possibly destroyed by an earthquake or a flood, its original form and function are lost to time. We are left with the scattered pieces of a magnificent but silent puzzle. What happened to the people who built it? The Tiwanaku civilization collapsed around 1000 AD. The reasons for its decline are still debated, but evidence points to a period of prolonged drought and climate change. Did their society simply fall apart, taking the secrets of their incredible building techniques with them? Or did something more sudden and catastrophic occur? The shattered state of the stones at Puma Punku suggests a violent end. It looks as if a massive force tore the site apart, scattering the multi-ton blocks like toys. Figuring out what happened here is key to understanding the full story. Ultimately, Puma Punku challenges our timeline of human history. It presents us with evidence of a technological ability that simply shouldn't exist for its time. It forces us to wonder if we are missing a major chapter in the human story. Are there lost civilizations and forgotten technologies in our past? Did ancient cultures have help from an outside source? These are the questions that keep explorers and archaeologists coming back to this desolate plain. The stones don't speak, but they silently challenge us to keep digging, keep questioning, and keep searching for the truth. The greatest adventure is the one that leads to the unknown. Puma Punku is more than just a pile of old rocks. It is a testament to human ingenuity and a powerful reminder of how much we still have to learn about our own past. It teaches us that history is not a closed book. There are still mysteries to solve and discoveries to be made. The site encourages us to be curious, to ask questions, and to not always accept the simplest explanation. It's important to have places like this in the world. They spark our imagination and push us to think bigger. They remind us that the story of humanity might be far more complex and amazing than we ever imagined. The real importance of Puma Punku might not be in finding a definitive answer. Perhaps the mystery itself is the treasure. It brings together people from all walks of life, scientists, historians, mystics, and adventurers, all united by a common sense of wonder. The debate over how it was built, whether by conventional means or extraordinary ones, keeps the story alive. It forces us to constantly reevaluate our assumptions and to consider new possibilities. The site serves as a great equalizer in the face of its profound enigma. We are all students, humbled by the genius of its creators. What Puma Punku ultimately offers is an invitation. It invites us to explore, to dream, and to wonder. It stands as a silent challenge to our modern arrogance, proving that ancient people possessed a wisdom and skill that we are still struggling to comprehend. It's a physical embodiment of the idea that there are forgotten chapters of our history waiting to be rediscovered. As long as these stones lie on the Bolivian Altiplano, they will continue to inspire future generations to look to the past and ask, how did they do that? The quest for that answer is what exploration is all about. So, was Puma Punku the work of master craftsmen using lost techniques? Was it built with the help of gods or visitors from the stars? Right now, no one knows for sure. The stones keep their secrets well. But one day, perhaps a new discovery will be made. A new technology will allow us to analyze the stones in a different way, or a forgotten text will be unearthed. Until then, Puma Punku will remain one of the world's greatest archaeological mysteries, a beautiful, impossible puzzle carved in stone, waiting for us to find the final piece. The expedition continues.